All right, second grade. Now that you have your character profile, we did this on the last slide, and you got to figure out what kind of personality, inside traits your character is going to have. Now we're going to talk about their superpower. What superpower do you want your character have? Now, Superman can fly, Violet becomes invisible, and she can make those awesome shields. Elastigirl is really, really stretchy, and Spider-Man can shoot the webs, right? Pew! And then he gets those swings by them. So all of the different superheroes have a different ability. Think about what you want your super character's superpower to be. Because on the next slide, we are going to write our very own story about your superpower and how you got that superpower, okay? Just like if you watch the old very first Spider-Man that they made, you got to figure out how they got their power. So this right here is a little graphic organizer. And you don't have to print out this paper or anything. Miss W just actually wrote hers right over here. You can use a whole different piece of paper, write it on out. So first things first, we need to have a list of characters. What characters am I going to have in my story? So I'm going to have Miss W, Sherry, and Becky. Those are my characters that I'm going to have in my story. And if you want to pause the video to write down your characters, you can do that. Or if you can watch the whole thing all at once. That's up to you. Now we need a setting. What is a setting? Do you guys remember what a setting is? The setting is where and when it takes place. Not just where, but when. Okay? So the setting of my story is going to be a field trip to the botanical gardens. And if you know what botanical is, it's the flower gardens, right? And when? I'm going to say it happened today, okay? It could have happened in the year 1492, right? Or I could make it happen in the year 3046. So if you're going to write a futuristic story, you can do that, but you need to write it down. Mine's going to happen modern day right now, okay? So the next thing we're going to talk about is having a beginning, middle, and end, okay? So beginning of my story, I'm thinking that I need to get ready to go on my field trip. So I'll probably have to get my sunscreen. I'll interact with my other two characters. I think we'll probably get on the bus, right? So you can write all of those things down. Okay, bus, I have to get my bag ready. Just your ideas. Remember, your graphic organizer is only for those big ideas, and then you can start writing and put it into sentence form, okay? When you do your rough draft, and then you can do your final draft and make it all nice and as perfect as you can get it. Now, nobody's perfect, but that's when you edit and make any changes that you want to do. Okay? All right. So, in the middle of my story, I'm going to get my powers. I'm going to say that I sniffed an exotic flower and I got stung by a bee. Because bees like flowers. So, I'm going to get stung by a bee. What's my powers? So, I'm going to write down here. I already figured out what powers I would like to have. So, I'm going to be able to fly and I'm going to have super sight because bees have all those big eyeballs, right? And then you can see, oh, it's going to be great. So I'm going to have the ability to fly and I'm going to have super sight. So I won't have to wear my glasses anymore. The end of my story, I'm going to go back to school and practice my powers. Okay, so that is my graphic organizer for how I'm going to start telling my story of how Miss W becomes Super W. Have fun making your own.